Hey, what is going on, guys? So I saw a pretty nice tweet from PlayStation a couple of days ago, and I thought, hey, I could do this myself. So the tweet was actually something like, press the like button and we'll see an animation. So in this video, we're going to do the same thing. This is just a poor attempt on replicating interior. And if we hover our like button, then we have this little hover effect. And if we click it, then we'll have this controller popping in effect. And after that, the button stays, the heart stays red. Now if we click on it again, then we dislike it, and also the like number here disappears. So let me click on it again. You see the number increased, and it's actually hard-coded in, so it's not recognizing this, but I found the animation pretty nice. So click on it, boop, that little controller appears, and if we dislike it, well, it doesn't appear anymore. Okay, so let's get into the video. Now I would like to mention that for this video we're going to use Font Awesome for the icons. I didn't find the actual PlayStation controller icon, but this is also working, I think. So yeah. Okay, let's get into the project. I just created an empty folder. You can call it whatever you want, but we need 3 files within it. So we need the index.html, and within here I'm going to hit Shift and exclamation mark, and using Emmet I'm going to create a short boilerplate. Okay, now let's link up our style.css, which we still need to create. So link.style.css. And we also need to go to Font Awesome, and if you don't have an account, then create one. You will get a free kit. Now from the free kit, you will then need to copy your script, so your link for your free kit, and then you need to paste it. I usually paste it above my link tag, so I'm just going to paste this in here, and this is my link to Font Awesome. Okay, so this should normally work. Let's also open this up using live server. So if you don't have live server installed, then go to your extensions and search for live server, and there we go. There it is. I already have it installed, so we don't need it. Don't need to install it. Okay, let's close this up. Now let's open this up, as I said, using live server. So right click on your HTML, open with live server, or also down here you will have your port, and this will open up in a new port. Now it will open up in 5502 because I already have it once opened up right here. Okay, let's go in here. Let's go back to our HTML, and we also need to create our style.css. So let's create our style.css file, and let's also do a really quick general reset. So star for selecting everything. This is the general selector. I'm going to reset our margins to 0 and padding to 0. And also, as always, box sizing border box. Okay, and the last thing I want to do is do a couple of things to the body. For example, I want to have a background color of a hash. I'm going to use here hexadecimal color of hash 152. Wait a second, 15212B. Yo, there we go. So let's take a look at this. Yep, there we go. There's our color. Now for this dark color, we also need a light text. So I'm going to go with hash FFF, and this will give us a white text. And for the font family, so font family, I'm going to choose Seijo. You can choose whatever you want. This is just a quick font family for me that I like. Okay, so for the max width, not the max width, but for the width of the body, I'm going to go with 500 pixels. And I'm going to set all of my margins to auto, and this will center our body in the middle of the page. So margin auto, let's hit save, and we can actually see anything. But as soon as we create something in our HTML, let's actually create just a quick h1, wait, hi, and save it, and there we go. It's in the center of the page. We should text line this text to the center, and that will be also in the center. Okay, last thing I want to do is create my app.js. And within here, I'm going to delete this h1 and link up my app.js. So script and source app.js. Okay, now let's get started by creating our HTML. Now for this, I'm going to create a general container. I'm going to start with dot. So if you press dot, you can always see Emmet is kicking in, and this is telling me, hey, you're going to create a div with a class, and we're going to name this class post container. Okay, within our post container, we're going to create another div with a class of avatar. And within here, I'm going to now go to font awesome. And let's search for a user. Okay. Now for the user, I think I chose, yeah, this one. This nice user right here. So just click on the entire icon here, copy HTML, go back inside here and paste it in. And this is actually the process that we need to repeat. Now, let me close this one up. You can see your user should be pretty small. So let's go back into Font Awesome, and right in here in the class, we're going to type in FA-3x, and this will magnify our icon 3 times. So hey, there we go. Now underneath our avatar, we need to create now the post itself. So we're going to create another class with the name of post. So generic div, and within here I'm going to create an h4. And within our h4, we're going to type in our handle. So I'm just going to type in my name, Reinhard B. Norbert. And after that, I'm going to have a span tag. And within the span tag, at NB Reinhard, which is my Twitter handle. Then I'm going to type in a dot and 4 hour, and just simulate as if I would have posted this 4 hours ago. Now after our h4, I'm going to create a paragraph tag, and within here I'm going to create a lorem ipsum. I actually want to create a lorem 10. So let's go back, lorem and 10. Okay, so let's take a look at how this is looking. Now after our paragraph tag, I'm going to create an image tag, but I'm not going to use it. As in, I'm not going to actually give it a source of an image. We'll see what we're going to do with this image tag a bit later on. Okay, and the last thing is the interactions. So I'm going to create another class of interactions. And within this, I'm going to create 4 span tags. So span times 4. And within each span tag, I'm going to include a icon tag. So the first icon tag will be, let me actually copy this up from up here. So copy and paste it within the span tags. We don't need this FA 3 times. We just need a FA, and this will be FAR, and then FA and comment. Okay, let's hit save. And after our icon tag, I'm going to create a space, and then let's say 800 something, just type in a number, whatever. Okay, there we go, that's in there, but hey, our icon tag is not, because I'm missing a dash. So FA dash comment. Let's hit save again, let's take a look, there's our comment icon. Now let me copy this. So within each span tag, I'm going to include the icon tag and the the numbers here. So this one will be 1000 something something, and instead of a comment, I'm going to have here FAS first of all, instead of a FAR, and then retweet. retweet, and down here we're going to have a FAR and heart. And the last icon tag action also need here number, let's say 64.5K. And the last one will be the share button, the share icon. So let me copy this one right here. And this should be FAS and share alt dash alt. Okay, let's hit save and let's check it out. We don't have any icon tags. Huh. There we go. Now, okay, we have our container done, so I could just, let me close this up, so minimize it and copy it 2 more times. 1, 2. All right. Now we could go into our CSS and start styling it a bit. First, let's style our post container itself. So post container, the class. And let's take a look at it again. So we have our 4 posts. Hey, why aren't you looking as you should? So there, you're there, and you're there. Okay. So we got our post containers. Now I'm going to display them as flex. And I'm going to do this because I want the icon tag right here, which why can't I see my icon tag? Let me go up here. So I'm missing the user tag. Hey, oh, there you are. There's our user. So after we display them as flex, let me actually comment this out now. I didn't see what just happened there. Okay, now they're in a column, and if we display them as flex, then they will be in a row because flex is in a row automatically. Okay, next up I'm going to give it the height of auto, and let's give them a bit of border. Now I'm going to use 1 pixel solid and a hash of 666, not because it's evil, but because it's a light gray. Okay. And now I want to take out, because this border here is doubling, because it has an all-around border. This in the middle has a border to the bottom, and this from the bottom has a border to the top. So I'm going to take out the border to the top, but I'm hitting border, and then border top, and 0. This should take out my border from the top, and now they are not doubling anymore. Now I also want to have a bit of space around, so let's go with a padding of 1 rem. Okay. And now let's start styling our avatar. Okay, avatar, the class of avatar that we just created, and within here, wait. I misspelled avatar, avatar. Okay. Now I'm going to position this relative. I'm going to give it a width of 60 pixels and a height of 60 pixels. Now let's also give it a border of 1 pixel solid and hash FFF, so a white color. So we have a rectangular border, but I need to make this a circle, so we're going to give it now a border radius of 50%. And so transform it into a circle, and it's a bit, hey, but it is 50, 60 pixels. Oh yeah, I don't know what is going wrong here. I need to also align the text to the center, and this didn't fix it. I'm going to fix it a bit later on. Okay, so let's continue on. Let's grab our post, and let's give this a padding to the left. So we want a post here to have a padding to the left side of actually 0.5 rem. And I also want to increase now the line height of 2, and there we go. We have a bit of more space within there. Okay, now I'm going to take all of the span tags and give them a font weight, first of all, of 100, which we're not going to hit save. We will change this up here and this one's down here. So let's hit save and let's go back there. And hey, that didn't change. I also need to change the color. 100. So the color of gray. Font weight, not font size. And there we go. The weight is now gone down to 100. Okay, now I'm going to take our image tag and I'm going to give it a height of 200 pixels, a width of 95, wait a second, width of 95% of its container. Okay, so it's not going to span 100%. And there we go, there's our image. It doesn't contain anything, but that's also the idea right here. And let me also give it a border now of 1 pixel, solid again, and hash 666. Okay. Now let's round out the borders by give it a border radius of 20 pixels. Okay, so we have a nice round borders right here. And let's change now the background color. So I want to have a black background color. Let's go with background color of hash 111. Hey, why didn't you take effect? Okay, there we go. Okay, now I'm going to take our interactions because they're all smushed together right here. I'm going to spread them out, and for this I'm going to use flex. So let's take the class of interactions and let's display them as flex. And now we can justify the content with space between. And this will leave no space to the left and right, but space equals space between the elements. Okay, now I'm going to take our anchor tags, not the anchor tags, the icon tags, what am I saying? So all of our icons, which is actually a italic tag. But yeah, so when I hover, and I want to have this in a hover state, so let's use a pseudo selector of hover, and the cursor should be then pointer. Okay, let's check this out. So when we hover over them, the cursor turns into pointer. It's not over the text element right here, but over our icons only. Now I'm going to take the class of FA and heart. It's like a main heart. Also, when we hover over our heart, so when we hover our hearts, we're going to change the color of the element to red. And I'm going to also give it a border radius because I want to create a bit of an effect here. So border radius of 50%. And now a box shadow of 0, 0, and 5 pixels and 10 pixels, and with a RGBA color, RGB A of 255, 0 and 0 for the blue, and for the alpha point 25%. Hey, you should be in here. Okay, so let's check this out. So when I hover over a heart, there we have it. It's nice effect, and also the color of the icon turns red. Now let's see, I also want to include here a transition of all m.5 seconds and ease. So let's check this out. Okay, that's much better. Now I'm going to type in here comment of game. And this is where we're going to start our gamepad animation. Now let's start coding our JavaScript. And for JavaScript, we don't have much to do. We first of all going to create a const of likes. I'm going to select all of our likes. So I'm going to use document dot query selector all. I'm going to select all of our classes. Actually, I want to select IDs, and I actually need to create the ID. So ID of like, and this ID of like, or should I give it a class? Class. There we go, class like, and let's go back into our HTML. And all of our hot spans, I'm going to give them a class of like. So this one, so let me select this, copy it, go up here, class of heart, a span, give it a like class, and also here. Okay, so let's also open up our inspector tool. So inspect element and go to console. Hope you can see this. I'm going to zoom in a bit. The maximum thing that, strange. So let's go in here and let's see if we console log our likes. Let's hit save. Let's go in here and we got a node list. So there are our likes. Now what can we do with node lists? Well, we can loop over them by, let's leave this in a comment. So likes dot for each, and a for each takes in a callback functions. So let's type in here function, and we're going to use an argument of like, so the singular. I'm going to select each like from our likes and add an event listener to them. I'm going to listen for a click, and as soon as we click on them, another function will do something. Now, first of all, let me show you something. Let's console log our like. Okay, so when we click on a like, we will also console log it. Now, right in here, you can see we have a few options. And one of them is to select the node list. So let's go back in here, like dot child node. Now, if we do this and click on our like button again, we get our node list, and we have two elements within it. We have our icon and we have a text. And for our icon, which is the position 0, we're going to select it first of all. Now, if we click on it again, we'll only select our icon tag. And from this, we're going to select if it contains, I should leave it here. So we selected our first icon. Now let me copy this, not this, but the like child node and the element of 0. I'm going to comment this out and I'm going to create now an if statement. So I'm going to condition something. So if the like child node first element, which is 0, class list dot contains, and we're going to look if it contains the class of FAR, because if we go back into our HTML, this span is a FAR. Okay, so if this contains this FAR, it contains this class, then just a second, I need to stay in here. Okay, so if it contains this FAR, then let's console log something. Let's console log this object as a string. Okay, let's click on it and yay, object. If we click on this one, also object. We have a second selected here. Great. Now let me comment this out. And now I want to grab onto the inner HTML of the like, because I'm going to modify it. So like dot inner HTML, and I'm going to change it using backtick, so using template literals. And I'm going to change it with another icon. So we had our FA heart, and instead of this, I'm going to change it. Why don't I keep sliding? Change it to a actually FAS, FA heart. Okay, so if the element contains that, then it's going to change. Okay, so you can see after I clicked it, it changed. If I click it again, nothing happens because I still need to do a few things, but I can change the icons. But after we hit refresh, well, they appear again. So this is actually not what we want to do. I'm going to put this in a time function, because first what I want to change is, let me actually copy this. So make a copy of this. I want to change our inner HTML to a gamepad. So yeah, it's actually also FAS. So FAS and gamepad. Okay, and I'm going to comment the second one out. So if I click on the heart, it's going to change it to a gamepad. Now when we have this gamepad, let's go back now into our CSS, and I want this gamepad to have an animation. Okay, so let's say FA-gamepad. So when this class appears, we're going to use a add keyframe rule. So add rule keyframes, and let's just name it animate gamepad. Okay, now this is going to go from 0%, so 0%, and it's going to create a transform. It's going to transform itself by scaling from 0.5 of its initial size, so from 50%. I'm going to take this and copy it 1, 2, 3, 4 times. And this is because this will be at 30%, this will be at 50%, 80%, and 100%. So when it's at 30%, I want it to go to 1.1, so 110% of its scale, then to 1.3, 130% of its scale, then go back to 1.1, and then disappear, so 0. Now we need to include it. So when this class is active, the FA gamepad, then our animation with the name of animate gamepad will take 1 second and have an ease in style of animation. And also let me change this color to color hash and white. Okay, so let's try this out. Let me refresh, and theoretically if I click on this heart, then hey, there's a gamepad. And once again, there's a gamepad. Now it doesn't disappear, so how can we achieve this? Because we don't want to have this gamepad, we need to go back into our JavaScript and now use a Settime function. So let's type in here set timeout, and now let's create a function, and this function will do the following thing. It will change, so I'm going to take this now. At a specific time, it will change our like inner HTML to this heart class. So after 1000 milliseconds, which is 1 second, is going to change our HTML to this icon. So let's try this out. Theoretically, when we click, it's going to first of all change the icon to a gamepad, then wait 1 second, and then change it to a heart. So let's try this out. Click on the heart, gamepad appears, and then the heart appears. So exactly as we want it. Now I do want the heart to be red, so let's go back into our CSS, and down here, we need to take this FAS dot FA dash heart, and I'm going to change this color to red. Okay, so let's try this out. So after, hey, refresh. After I click it, it disappears, and the heart should appear. Why isn't this red? FAS, hey, I typed, forgot a T. No, it's red. Okay, perfect. Let's try this one out. Yo. And also, now let's go back into our app. I also wanted to have here the numbers, so let's go back in here. Also type in 64.6K. And now the last thing that we need to do is, well, we check for this FAR class, and we know it exists after nothing. It exists before we click it. But after we click it, this FAR will transform in a FAS. So I'm going to say else, take our inner HTML right here and transform it back into a FAR. And also changed it to 5. So it's going to check if the class is FAR. If it is, then it's going to change it first of all into a gamepad, change the icon, then wait 1 second and then change it into a FAS heart. But if it's not, so let's try this out. Okay, in this case it was. Now it's no longer a FAS, so if I click it now, it's going to change it back to a FAR. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much it. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell because I post videos like this on a constant basis. So hope you enjoyed it. See you guys next time. Take care. Bye-bye.